Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses from all walks of life, I talk about people, places, animals, food, sports, pop culture in general, the whole 9 yards. And today is going to be the second video in this new sub-series that I created, when I came back to YouTube, a few months ago. It's the Whatever Happened To series, which is usually where I talk about bands and artists that have faded into obscurity over the years. The first of these videos was this one here, talking about Dead by Sunrise, the band that was originally created by a former Linkin Park vocalist, Chester Bennington, And today I'm going to be talking about a new band, which is honestly, it's something very, very interesting because it was a side project by another vocalist from another band that I do kind of like a bit, but they seem to have faded much more quickly than Dead by Sunrise, through the rock and metal scene. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys know the band Disturbed, who is fronted by David Draiman, who's also the vocalist, and he's kind of famous for, having a very wide vocal range, and soaring, almost like opera-esque tone to his voice, and also having no tattoos at all because of his religious background, his heritage, But I'm not the biggest fan of Disturbed, I will admit, they're just like, I like their sound, I do like their metal, but it's not really I don't know, it just doesn't really sit well with me. Their first album, I'm a very big fan of, but everything else just doesn't really do it for me. However, Disturbed took a hiatus in 2011, and at that moment there, they just stopped touring and recording, they took a little break, and that's when David Draiman got the idea to create a side project, which he started kind of marinating in 2012, talking about with other musicians, and he eventually got together with Geno, how do I pronounce his name? Geno Lenardo, I believe, who was the former guitarist of the band Filter. And so they came together, and in 2013 they formed this new band, a side project, just them, those two, literally just two guys came together and formed the band Device, and the idea here was to branch out a little bit and sort of, create an industrial metal sound with elements of electronic as well, But if you heard their works, you can see that there's a little bit of hard rock in the mix as well. So it sort of took like a back seat to what he was doing with Disturbed and gave him it kind of helped David to branch out in a different way. The same way that Chester did with Dead by Sunrise, a band whose sound was very drastically different to Linkin Park at the time. So I actually personally really did like this band a lot, I really enjoyed the work that they put out, but unfortunately, apparently it just didn't work out too well, Now, the actual studio members were just David and Geno, but they had touring members, They had Will Hunt, playing drums for them in live shows, and Virus, playing guitar and backing vocals. But by the way, the guy's actual name is not Virus, it's actually Andre Karkos, but he calls himself Virus. I don't really know why, but just fruity as hell. And Device is actually, to me, they represent a very tragic case of what could have been, I am such a big fan, even though they only released one album, but there were a few really cool guest stars, which I'm gonna get to in a little bit. Man, it sucks, dude. It really does, I'm going to give you guys a little bit more background, talk about their history, and what they represented to the world of metal, despite having such a short stint, in their career there. But before that, I'm going to show you guys here a clip. I got a few clips here, and I really hope that I can show them without any copyright issues. They are from the Device YouTube channel, which has been inactive for many years, so maybe there isn't copyright or licensing. I'm gonna try to show it to you guys here and hope that nothing happens. So before we continue with the actual video, let's take a look at a clip here of Device performing live. This is a show from Detroit, back in 2013. If all goes well, you're gonna see it now. good, huh? Pretty dang good. I really hope things worked out here in the editing department so you guys could see that clip there, you know. Whatever song it was, you know, it's awesome. I pretty much love every single song on this album, you know, which by the way was called Device and released in 2013, you know, so a self-titled debut album. And, you know, this album here, man, represents quite, it represents, to me at least, you know, it represents a very important moment in metal because it showed that David Draiman could expand beyond his work with Disturbed, you know, because with Disturbed, as the name implies, it was always very strange, you know. It's kind of like a new metal kind of thing that fuses with alternative, you know. And Disturbed have never really felt too heavy to me, but that's why I like them, you know. It's not like Slipknot or Five Finger Death Punch or Motionless in White, you know, or even Asking Alexandria. It's not as heavy, but at the same time it feels grounded, you know. You can still, because David Draiman is an amazing songwriter and lyricist, you know. I think those two words are synonyms, but you get the point. So I really always enjoyed their songs because of this, you know. But with Device, it was a way for him to branch out completely, you know. And he later on went on to say that it was very easy to work with Geno Lenardo, you know, because when they came together and talked about the songs, you know, the idea for songwriting, you know, he said that it just went very fluidly. It was easy to work with him, you know. So and it was actually, you know, it was kind of like a match made in heaven at the time, you know. And when the album actually came out, you know, we discovered that they were including a lot of amazing guest stars, you know. There was this one song that was called Close My Eyes Forever that he recorded with Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, which was actually a cover from the original song by Lita Ford and Ozzy Osbourne, you know. So there was also Haze, where he collaborated with M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold, you know. So, and also a few others as well. There was, for example, Out of Line, where he had vocal collaborations with Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and also Geezer Butler from Led Zeppelin. Sorry, Black Sabbath. So, and there was also this other collaboration with Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and that was on Opinion, but of course it was the guitar. There were 10 songs in the regular release of the album, with a few more in the deluxe, you know, and the majority were collaborations. So he also recorded Through It All, which was the final track with Glenn Hughes. Glenn Hughes actually is from Deep Purple. So I mean, there were quite a few amazing collaborations, and that's why I feel like the album could have really done a lot better than it did, you know, because David Draiman had a lot of really good soaring vocals, and the idea of the album was to kind of, you know, create a sound that was similar to Nine Inch Nails or maybe Ministry, you know. David Draiman even covered a song by Nine Inch Nails, you know, which was Wish, so, but that was in the deluxe version. So they played their first live show a day after the album was released, you know, that was in April. So, and like I said before, they had 2 touring members, and Will Hood had actually played drums for Evanescence, you know, so I was already familiar with him. Now, the idea here of the album was kind of like to invoke this whole new sound within alternative metal, you know, and I was never a fan of industrial metal until I discovered this album. It kind of opened me up to the industrial side of music, you know, a lot of synthetic and a few effects here and there. It was electronic, but not exactly like dubstep, you know. It was a little similar to what Linkin Park did with 1,000 Suns in 2010, you know, but because it was industrial metal, it had kind of like a driven, grounded sound, you know. So I really like the songs. My favorite song on the album is probably Penance, you know, mostly for the lyrical content, because David Draiman talks about, you know, going through a dark period, you know, and having depression and really bad suicidal thoughts, you know. He goes on to say, can the penance make the nightmares go away? Can you pull the demon from inside? Will the penance make the nightmares go away and save me from the sin this night? I love that song so much, and it still gives me goosebumps, you know. The songs where it's just David without any collaborations, you know, do pretty well. There's also War of Lies, which I think is really cool as well, you know, where I believe that the song kind of has a political background, where you're talking about raging a war of lies, you know, going through a disguise. So, and also You Think You Know, the title song, I love it, man, you know. Every single song tells a story, you know, and looking at the discography here, honestly, I wish they would have recorded more. Vilify, the 3rd track, is also really cool, you know, which might be one of the ones that I show here in the clips, you know. I'm not really sure which songs I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna try to grab a few from that live show. Speaking of which, let's take a look at another clip here from Device playing live before we continue.
And reality sucks, 'cause you
baby. Oh, I get stupefied. Wait, that's Disturbed. That's the wrong band. Okay, well, let's just pretend that didn't happen there, right? But so anyway, now, despite having a very short career and only released one album, you know, Device actually was recognized with a few awards. Notably at the Revolver Golden Gods Awards, they were nominated for and won the award for Best New Talent. You know, that was in 2013, you know, the same year the album was released. Also in 2013 at the Loudwire Music Awards, they were nominated for and won the award for Best New Artist, you know, and also their self-titled debut album, the song You Think You Know, the title track, you know, was already what the hell? Sorry, You Think You Know, the initial opening track, was nominated for and won the award for Cage Match Hall of Fame. Okay, I don't know what the hell that is, but they won it. Okay, so now in 2015, unfortunately, David Draiman came out publicly and said that, you know, there was no intention at all of making another Device album. So officially the band was active. You know, they formed in 2012 and they disbanded completely in 2014. So they were active only from that 2-year period there, which is a damn shame, because like I said, I was really pumped for them putting out new work. You know, I started to listen, like get into rock and metal around 2012 or so. So I actually I saw the album being released live, you know, so I was really pumped, and it was kind of a turning point for me, you know, because I started to become a fan of Disturbed around the time that this album came out, and it sort of, you know, showed me the vocal range of David Draiman and how amazing he was, you know, singing, and also because he doesn't really do any guttural screaming, but he does still have a very good vocal range, you know, which is what I admire him a lot for. He was the funny thing about David is that he used to be a pastor, you know, or a minister or whatever in a church before becoming the vocalist of a metal band. So I don't know, it's kind of funny, like, because some of his songs, many of the songs that he writes for Disturbed are very sacrilegious in nature, you know, and a few for Device as well, so that's why I like it a lot. And I personally think it's a damn shame that we are never going to get anything from this band ever again, you know, and there's so much little information to go on, which is why this video is so short, you know. It might even be shorter than the other Dead by Sunrise one, but I'm glad that I finally recorded another one of these Whatever Happened to X band name video here, you know, because I have a few ideas, you know, for some, but they have to be spaced out because there aren't too many of them. So, but there's really nothing else I can say, guys. Not even here with my cheat sheet, you know. All I can say is that their live show happened at the Soul Kitchen Music Hall in Mobile, Alabama, you know, in 2013 after the album was released, and that's literally it, you know. That's pretty much it. So I don't believe the road will ever see a reunion of Device, you know, because when they played their live show, Geno wasn't even included in the lineup, so maybe he and David had a falling out or something. But that is essentially it, man. If you have never listened to Device or even ever heard of them, you know, but you're a fan of Disturbed, go on Spotify or iTunes or Deezer, whatever music streaming app you use, and listen to their first album, their only album, right? Because I promise you will not regret it, man. It is a pretty good journey all the way through. I still find myself listening to it today, you know. It never gets old, and it hits me with one of those what could have been feelings, you know, way down in my soul, because I really wish I could have gotten more of this work from this band, you know. But it's fine, you know, that's just life, you know. Sometimes you win some and you lose some, right? Anyway, guys, that's it for today. And if you happen to like this video, let me know in the comments below if you ever heard of this band, if you've heard their album, you know, if you like them, didn't like them, you know, if you're a fan of industrial metal. Let's have a little debate in the comments as always, but keep everything PG, and it's all good. If you guys happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time I upload, and it's all good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, enjoyed the clips. I could only get clips from one show in 2013. That's all I got, so the quality was a little crappy, but still, hopefully there's no copyright crap. So anyway, guys, that's it. Did I say if you happen to like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and a notification bell, this, that, you know. Yes, just going through that again. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.